Okay, I'm not supposed to record at dialysis, but it's a HIPAA law. But I'm not going to do a video of anyone else here but me. I'm in the corner, and there's no one behind me, so I'm sure it's okay. Anyway, Trish, I just want to let you know. Check this out. You're worried about your looks, your appearance, and all that. And from a man's point of view, you're a cutie. I mean, no, you're not 21 years old, Trish. Get over it. But let me just say this. It's about how you treat me. I want Kathy, if Kathy weighed 300 and it was burned up in a fire, I'd still be nuts about it. So, a real man loves a woman for a lot more in her outer shell. But let me just say something. Cowboy Bob had a bad crush on you. That broke up our friendship because I was trying to get you hooked up with Woody. I mean, not Woody, but Ziggy. And anyway, he called you, and see, you don't notice, he called you his Cadillac. He thought I was infringing. But anytime I wanted to help you, my only intention, I had nothing. I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm nuts about Kathy. But Trish, I think you look, God, you're still built great. You look great. And for you to be ever self-conscious, you're just, that negative bullcrap's got to go. Not for me. And like I say, being around people who just, I went to the doctor. I don't want to hear it. I just don't like even talking about my health. Hey, I'm like when I had a 6-way bypass heart attack, and my mom was, and I said, well, I could have been in a wreck and been killed. I could have been in a wreck and lost my vision, my legs, my arm. It could always be worse. It could always be worse, Trish. So anyway, and as far as the people at the Eagles, I had a ball, and there's some really cool people. And you tell them I am upset because I want a chili cook-off. I beat 9 contestants, and that's the best chili I've ever had. I can't believe it. And I'm egotistical, and I'm a darn good cook. And man, that was fantastic. And they were nice enough to share the recipe with me. And that is a cool club, and you fit right in there. And like I say, I'm a critical, and even that Bob that ran karaoke there, I went up and told Bob, I said, Bob, you're blowing the people out. You need to turn down your music. So anyway, after I sang a couple, and he made this, it was funny because Bob said, when I got done singing the first time, he goes, now remember, this is karaoke, not Star Search. It was a compliment. And but after that, Bob would say, "Ow, how's this?" Because he knew I knew my stuff. And I said, "Bob, and it sounded great." And then he went on break, and he had a few. He drank some, and he had the music busting. I went up and took it liberty, and I just turned it down. It was on a 10. I turned it down to 4, and I was like, it was still there, but not blowing us up out of the map. So anyway, Trish, your sound is, I critique, I listen. And even at one point, I think there at the end, I said the music could come up a little bit. And actually, when I came out to the VFW, I wanted to tell you, sometimes your music was overriding your vocals. And when I go out and even hear Carl and stuff, I would tell them, this is a mic, this is the music. Music, mic. And I'd go like this. That means turn up your mic. And I would do non-inconspicuous, and I'd go like turn down the music, turn up the music, and little codes like that. And what's funny is, Trish, when we ran karaoke, we had a $2,000 laser, and I've got videos, and they all work with, what we had was fabulous. I had 2 huge bass bins. They were big as half a refrigerator. I had the EV speakers, the professional, $3,000 ones. I had not the Mackie $1,000. I had the $3,000 with the better input stage. I had, oh my God, a Yamaha Reverb $1,000. I had the Roland Echo. They were $1,200. Best Echo Dynamite. I had a $3,000 Lexicon Reverb, and that's what they use in studios for karaoke. Okay, and at one time, Trish, I had 9 monitors, and we worked at El Chero's. There was a dry section in the back they couldn't see. I filmed the person singing and the karaoke in the back, so the place was jam packed. We were working. Let's see, 5 nights a week doing karaoke at El Chero's for close to 2 years. But anyway, and I had a 16-band equalizer. I mean, it sounded like you were in a studio, and that's why everybody, they go somewhere else, well, how come we don't sound? Because we had the best, and I was the only guy back then. They would just, most people would just put it in. I was sitting down running sound, and I was videoing people, handing them VCRs of themselves singing. I was handing them out, and then on the Big Al Show, I would hand out trophies. If you introduced the Big Al Show, it said I introduced the Big Al Show, and you know, always positive, fun, give. And what you give comes back to you. And if you watch my Jesus video, you might learn more about Big Al. But anyway, Trish, yeah, okay. And see, my next venture, if I'd have come out next week, I would have probably worn my Willie Nelson wig, my Elvis, and my Kenny Rogers, probably. And then people would say, oh, you got to go out there. You got to go out there. It would have. But you know what? That could be a negative because you're a crowd out there that likes to sing. They probably don't want a bunch more people coming out and taking up their slot. Because most people, most of the time, they don't come out to hear us. They come out to hear themselves. But it's icing on the cake. If Big Al and Kathy are coming to your karaoke, it's happened before. You know, Trish, we had a TV show. We'd go to flea markets and restaurants. Oh, Al, Kathy, they knew who we were. If it wasn't, we sang at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And at BMI and ASCAP, all the legalities, you can't sing this, you can sing that, you can't sing that. On my TV show, I let everybody sing whatever they wanted. So I just thought to hire lawyers and go through the legalities and deal with, and then you can't do this, you can't. I wouldn't have felt complete if people couldn't sing what they wanted. So we made a decision to get out. And at that time, we were making 1,000 there and over 1,000 on commercial, over a couple thousand a week. But we were still, without the TV show, we could still make 1,000 a week, you know, working a few jobs, you know. But anyway, it all balanced out. But anyway, Trish, and I'm just going to say it again. You would have climbed. If Big Al would have got a hold of you, and even our dog, Bandit, you're only as good as a trainer. Bandit, and you know what? I'm gonna go find that. That's on YouTube. I'm gonna put it on here. Bandit can catch a ball. He can lay down. He can play dead. He can sit. He can speak. And I'm gonna go find that. And it's going on my Facebook. And so anyway, Trish. You are my friend, and I have respect for you, and even Cash said, "Oh, you did a great job." You know, if we had worked together, it'd have been you and I, maybe 95% of the time, but maybe once in a while, or maybe if we enjoyed it, maybe the three of us could have gone together. And like I say, I'll just briefly tell you, I wanted Neva and Vicky Corday and Kathy to do a trio, and I had dreams of them, and I was going to call them 3 times a lady, but Corday was pretty much committed to another band, and I understood, no problem, and Neva sort of wanted to do it, but she's busy beamering horses and all that. So anyway, Neva and Kathy and Vicky, and I just told them, you know, 3 times the lady would have been their name, and they could have worked together and complimented each other. And so, you know what? Sometimes I get things in my head, ideas, and even Cowboy Bob. When we were at the Shamrock, Cowboy Bob went out for years, never sang karaoke. And his girlfriend, and she was a cutie. Now keep in mind, Cowboy's no dummy. He thought you were really cute. And everybody, you're a good-looking girl. Well, anyway, his girlfriend was cute. She's a little girl. She came up, she said, Big Al, you know, Cowboy, I think he can sing, but he's afraid. He don't want to do it. He's embarrassed and that. So I said, Cowboy, come here. We used to shoot pool together. And I said, Cowboy, listen. If you go up and you suck, does anybody really care? Are they going to put it on billboards or in the Beacon Journal? Oh, Cowboy Bob can't sing. Nobody cares. They're going to like you for Cowboy Bob. What you need to do is come up, give it a shot, make it fun. If you fail, if you're afraid to fail, you're not going to do anything. You know, Cowboy, you can just give it a try. Now, I've never been a real big Cowboy Bob fan, but for a karaoke singer, he was a badass. But he came up and he did Nat King Cole or whatever. And I thought, man, all these years because you were scared, because you were afraid to fail, you deprived yourself of showing off. And then Cowboy, he got good enough for Ziggy believed in him. He was made money with Ziggy. It was like the Cowboy Bob show because of his persona. You know, the look with the long hair and the country. And Cowboy Bob had a style. I've never thought he was a great singer, but I thought he was pretty good. And but I have to take credit for getting him started, for saying, you know what? You think people are going to go home and lose sleep over you being a bad singer? No one cares, Cowboy. People don't care. They're there to hear themselves, basically. And Big Al got him started, so I'm going to take credit for it. And Trish, I could have, but you know what? It's work. You know, if you're busy babysitting all weekend and you don't have time, or sometimes when you play music, you don't have the interest. You know, you're tired. You don't feel like learning. You have to learn. When your ship levels out, someone's going to come in who is anxious, younger people. Somebody's out of nowhere. Someone's going to say, hey, I'm 24. I'm going to get me karaoke, and I can sing. I sing at church, and I sing in bands, and they're going to take your job because you leveled out. You can't level out, Trish. Look at me. Do I look and act like I'm 77? No. And look what they. I can't believe this house. Look what they bought me. And you know what? The other place was, no offense, it was hell, and I'm in heaven right now. And I just love it here, and my mental attitude is so much better. So right now my thing's going off. My blood pressure thing goes off every half hour. So, close to 14 minutes, Tricia, or Trish. I like calling you Trish. But anyway, even Kat, we enjoy your singing. And remember, you know my favorite song, Dum Dum by Brenda. When I was a kid, a dum dum, a diddly dum. I love Brenda Lee. Matter of fact, when she's on the Red Foley show, she sang I Had a Crush on Her. Of course, I had a crush on Annette. And I had a crush, you know, so over and over and over again. But anyway, we enjoyed coming out there. And I'm curious about who's there on Friday. I don't know if I'd ever consider going out or not. Keep in mind, karaoke. I haven't been to karaoke. The only reason I came to karaoke, Trish, was I wanted to hear you again and more or less see what you were up to. And even though at the other place, like I told you, since people were eating putting the speakers out at the Eagles works great, but at that club, you need to put them behind your head, very close to you, so you can. The people that eat, a lot of times they don't want to hear music, and even at Prospect Country Club, Kathy and I sang there, and like I told you, we get 150, one time $200 tips. But people come in and they were, can you keep it down? And we play almost, I won't say ridiculous, but that first set, you do what for the people. You sing and not. If I went up to the songs that I would like to do for me, I mean, I do songs that the average karaoke person, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Most people don't want. You made me so very happy. Most people, and I kind of like, because I know a lot of songs I sing. Even Just Once, that's pretty difficult. But I cater to what I think people would like. When I got in contests, Tricia, I used to go to Champs in Cleveland, and they had a karaoke contest. Big, huge sports bar, huge, with big TVs, glass in kitchen. It was a fancy place. And they had a karaoke every Wednesday. You sang one song a night, 4 hours, Trish. And all the singers in bands, I knew some of these people. Black guys, great singers. Anyway, up there I won 12 out of 23. They'd pay 100 to the female, 100 to the male. I won 12 times. That's unbelievable. That's like Super Bowl. But I would entertain, I'd smile, but anyway, Kathy won 3 out of 5, but she don't like to compete. I love to compete. I love it, and anyway, I had my butt kicked a couple times. One guy sang the theme song from the Titanic, a male in the key of the record. He killed it. This black guy was so good, I didn't feel like singing. He blew me. He kicked my butt, Trish. But I won 12 out of 23. I won $1,200. And then they used to have it, and I love this. Male would win 100, female would win 100, and $100 they would draw. So I like that better than what they did was they made it then where the male and the female would have a sing-off. And what happened to me was I won. And I was up there with a couple of friends, this black girl was singing. And I said to my buddy, I said, do you know how good she is? Anyway, this girl sang Aretha Franklin, black, she sounded like the record. And anyway, I won, she won. I would have preferred, give it the 100, give the 100 to someone who's not a great singer, and then they just take just draw the ticket. At the end of the night, you put your name in a bowl, draw it. I like that better. But we had a sing-off, and I don't care if I'd have won the 200. But anyway, I won. I think I did. What song did I do? I think Cover Me by Bruce Springsteen. Cover me. Anyway, I won. And anyhow, she won, and I don't remember. Midnight Train to Georgia, whatever. So anyhow, they said, okay, Al and whatever her name was, you're going to have a sing-off. Well, I did Rainy Night in Georgia. Now, let me say something. Wedding there before, I met a girl named Pam, a black girl. And we went to the east side of Cleveland. I don't remember the name of it, but theirs went till later, So anyway, she had a Jeep. Pam was so cool. Kathy beat her in the singing contest, and she was so good. We went over and bought her and Robert, and he was another great singer. He was a banquet manager in Cleveland. Well, anyway, Kathy and I went over and bought him a drink and said, hey, we know how good you are. And, Kathy and I both thought she was great, but Kathy beat her. And so anyway, Kathy didn't go with me that night, but they talked me into driving on the east side of Cleveland to their karaoke, all black. I was the only white boy in there. So now at the Shamrock, I sang it. I get some applause, and we got applause at Eagles. But I went out there, and I walked in all black. Well, Robert sang and Pam sang, and Robert was really good, and Pam, both of them were really excellent. I'm talking excellent singers. And anyway, I went up and I started doing Rainy Night in Georgia. Holding by my suitcase, it's rain, and they started cheering me. These blacks were, I had it one time in New York, but they're going, yeah, do it. And the more, now at the Shamrock I sang, but when they started cheering me, man, I poured out some soul I didn't know I had. All of a sudden, this white cracker, man, I didn't mean it. This white dude, they gave me incentive. And I started hitting notes and falsetto. I mean, I was getting down. And and they were cheering me on. And I went back to the table, and Robert said, man, you teach these blacks how to sing, man. Oh, and he was laughing. He was cracking up that they loved it. And I'll tell you what, my God, I forget where it was, but I know it was on Euclid, somewhere in Euclid, and there was a bar up on a hill. And man, I never at the country bars, most people didn't. They knew I was pretty good, and they'd clap. Even on a TV show, I should have had microphones out there, because the mics that we have, the SM58s or Beta 87s, they only catch a close range. So when you hear applause, even when I sang with Larry Alltop, I was embarrassed because I went out to Mercedes, and you watch the video. I should have had cameras all over. I mean, not cameras, but Mike. They were clapping at Larry. They were clapping that night, but it was minute. It was okay. From 1 to 10, the applause level was 3. I wore my Elvis wig and went out and did the Wonder Review. And I'm going to tell you what. Check it out. Go to Mercedes Alvis, Alvis, and listen to the applause at the end of that. I was embarrassed. I thought, and Larry, don't think it's because they didn't like you. Probably because I had the wig on, and even on I had that Elvis, curl up my lip. But anyway, I got to get back to dialysis here, and I got to make some more videos. But anyway, Trish, great talking to you, and anyway, hey, you're still doing great. Necessity that you don't need now, but maybe next year when you're ready and you want to cooperate with what the old man has to say, you'll trust me. I promise you I won't do you wrong. Big Al over out. Bye.